Hi guys, and welcome to another edition of Chateau Surf and Turf. Pour yourself a glass of wine, get the tunes on, and we'll get cracking into this box. So I'm placing my pan on a medium-high heat to start with. I have brought out my beef to come to room temperature. I'm going to remove the beef from all of the packaging. Okay. And then I'm going to allow it to drain, just in case there's any excess moisture unnecessary, so that when we place it into the pan, it's not boiling, it's sizzling. That there, beautiful piece of meat. We have our prawns in a separate bag with the Rayleigh butter, and we will come to that, just leave that to the side. Okay, so in your pan, handle the pan, not in the pan, above the pan, so that you can feel the heat coming off. When it comes to temperature, when that comes up to be hot enough, we're going to lower our beef into the pan, okay? And when we're cooking steak, what we're going to do is we're going to just get nice and easy. We're going to take our time, we're not going to be afraid of it. We're not throwing steak in and tossing it around and then putting it in the oven and hoping for the best. We're going to put flavour in at every stage, okay? So in your box, you've also got a lovely little bit of salt, okay? So these salt flakes, crush them between your fingers and season the whole surface area, okay? So when you're placing this into the pan, you want to place it away from you so there's no oil splits. What you want to do, you want to hear that sizzle. That's it. What that sizzle means, that's the beef letting us know that it's starting to caramelise all the way around. Now if you've bought a Chateau box before, you'll know that it's imperative that we caramelise that beef and all the way around, okay? We have a fantastic piece of meat here. What we want to do is we want to treat it with the utmost respect. We want to add, at every stage, a cheeky element of flavour. So I don't use tongs. You can, there's nothing wrong with tongs. I like to use a spoon, just to gently move it around the pan. Don't be scared. This is my job. I've been doing this for years. But I'm just trying to show you the easiest way to achieve restaurant quality results in your very own home. Okay, so I've got my oven set at 180 degrees. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus all my attention onto this steak. You've got the music on, you've got your glass of wine, give it a wee sugar, and you're just focusing all your energies onto this steak. Okay, caramelise, seasoning. I am wanting this medium rare, so I'm going to be placing this in the oven from between 12 and 15 minutes, okay? Okay, so the steak has been in the oven. Lovely. And we know that that's ready. I can feel the resistance when I press the outside. So I need to let that rest. I need to let it rest. If you've been in the oven for 15 minutes, then you need to rest as well. Okay, so remove that to your oven tray. And with the residual heat, make sure that you use a tea towel. See all that flavour? All the sediment that's in the base of the pan. That is flavour. We're going to try and utilise that by warming the prawns up in that, okay? The sauce today, the sauce with this box here, is a Puttanesca butter. Now, Puttanesca originated in Italy. It's traditionally a store cupboard favourite. When women couldn't leave the house, they used their store cupboard ingredients. They used the capers, the chilli, the dried oregano, the anchovies, and then they created some half-decent pasta, okay? So we're using the flavours from Puttanesca and putting it in a butter. As you can see, as soon as the prawns hit the pan, that opaque pale blue colour turns to a crimson red. That's lovely. Now, prawns need to be treated quite differently from steak. You're not putting this on at a high heat and cooking it as hard as possible. You see the colour there? It's nice when they caramelise, but it's also nice when they warm through, okay? You can be too aggressive with shellfish. So place the butter into the pan and allow it to melt. And as soon as that butter hits the pan, okay, it unleashes all those dormant flavours, the capers, the tomatoes, sun-dried tomatoes, the olives, and it fills the house with that flavour. And this Puttanesca butter, once it melts, will be the sauce for our steak and our prawns. Okay, you've utilised every ounce of flavour out of that steak and out of the prawns and out of the butter. That is going to be a fantastic meal. Allow the butter to melt. You don't want to overcook the prawns. That's them ready. Okay, so we have our beautiful piece of meat, and we have our prawns. The meat is rested, and we're ready to carve. What we're looking for here is 3 large, thick slices per person, so 6. Using a sharp knife in a nice rocking motion. You're not hacking at this. That's it. Beautiful, beautiful. That's the colour that you're after. Six thick slices. Now you know how much effort you put into this. We know how much effort we put into this box. You've almost got a guaranteed restaurant quality meal in your house. And what you want to do is you want to dap it dry and then place it straight onto the plate. That's beautiful. With any salt that you have, it's a good idea to season the meat directly. Beautiful. Again, just adding that extra little layer of flavour and a little chef's touch. Now that pan is still extremely hot. Don't worry, I'm only in a little bit of pain, okay? What you want to do is you want to put the prawns in and around the beef so that people can help themselves, but you still want to allow everyone to see how well you've cooked that steak. I don't know if I was cooking this in my house, if I'd be able to not eat one of those prawns right now. Now that's the sauce. Look at that Puttanesca butter, look at that. Make sure that goes over everything. So there you have your Chateaubriand steak, Puttanesca butter and roasted king prawns. Enjoy. Okay, moving on to our next side dish. It's quite an interesting one. This is our wild garlic roasted potatoes with chantilly carrots and a little bit of cooling goat's cheese. So remove the little container of goat's cheese to the side for now. Okay, so into a pan, what you want to do is you want to put about 50 mils of water into the pan. That's going to steam the vegetables. You don't have to measure it. It's just a little bit of water to start the steaming process. Okay, so I'm putting this onto high heat. Okay, and then just a little touch of water. You'll see the steam start to come out, okay? And when you add in the vegetables, that just brings them to life again. It's only going to take about 2 minutes, okay? The wild garlic grows plentiful up and down the country. It's full of goodness. It grows wild, it's sustainable. So it makes sense for us to use these. Now, not everyone's a forager. I'm a big forager. I like to try different herbs that grow at different times of the year. While that's steaming, place a lid on top. So these wild garlic potatoes will only take about 2 minutes to heat through. All you're doing, there you go. You see? If you have a tight fitting lid, it takes a lot less. And that's them, okay? The dormant flavours that have been in the fridge are unleashed, okay? And the house smells of the heady garlic flavour that you're just about to experience. So, very, very lovingly, what we're going to do is we're going to place, we're going to pile them high, okay? These aren't just potatoes with a steak. These aren't just a medley of vegetables from back in the 80s. These are vegetables treated with respect. Roasted vegetables, wild garlic plucked from our very earth, and then treated with love and respect, piled high. Now, the added little touch of some goat's cheese. Now, not everyone's a fan of goat's cheese, but to cook with, it's brilliant. So I'm going to add little bits of the goat's cheese. It's smooth, it's creamy. It has a unique flavour, but when used within food rather than eaten on its own, it enhances the flavour of what you're eating. And in this case, it's garlic and cheese, which go fantastic well together. Okay guys, there you go. There is your wild garlic roasted potatoes with crumbled goat's cheese. Enjoy. So our next side is our Sicilian roasted cauliflower. So very, very simply, to reheat this, what we're going to do is we're going to place it onto an oven tray and place it into the oven. You'll notice that in the tub there's a little container, and that's your Trapanese pesto. Just keep that to the side, okay? And just place that just onto the oven tray. This is being dressed. Now don't worry about the about the garnish, about the raisins and the olives. To place it on. What we're doing is just warming this through. It's almost like a warm salad. One of the signatures of Chateau-x is how we respect and how we treat each individual ingredient. That doesn't start and finish with the steak. And then this goes into the oven for between 10 to 15 minutes. Okay, so the cauliflower is ready. It's warmed through. You can smell the saffron. Lovely. Okay, so this is where the Trapanese pesto comes into its own. What we're going to do is we're going to spoon over lovingly and allow the residual heat from the cauliflower to melt the Trapanese pesto. Now you might think, why would you add on something else? You've already roasted the cauliflower, you've already got a nice dressing with the capers and the olives, all that adding flavour. And we treat our vegetables as much and as well as we treat our chateau. That's beautiful. That is gorgeous. Now, that's us, okay? All we need to do now is pile it high in a decorative manner and allow your guests or yourself, should it be just for you, I'm not judging, to help themselves. The cauliflower, because it's not a uniform product, it's not the same. You'll have little gnarly, crispy bits like that, which will taste fantastic. There you have, beautiful, your Sicilian roast cauliflower with capers and raisins. Enjoy. So there you have your Chateau surf and turf menu. Enjoy.